Well, hello everyone. If you landed here, you're at Let's Talk News. And boy, oh boy, we are coming right up on Christmas. And that's a pretty good thing, I say. Everybody got their Christmas shopping done. Everybody ready for the big day. I almost thought I wouldn't get here tonight because my grandson came in from Florida. And I'm very excited about that. And we just picked him up from the airport. So it's questionable what's going to happen in the next days of the show. I already said that we're not doing it Wednesday and Thursday. Maybe we'll pop on for Friday. But anyway, what are your plans for Christmas? What are you doing? Where are you going? You having people in? Are you spending a quiet Christmas with friends? How are you going to celebrate? Hello, Andrew Dorman. Good to have you. And Francine is here. Hello. And Karen, just the sun. Good to have you, Karen. Uh, I think that you've been on the show before, but if not, welcome. So, the big Christmas surprise from President Trump is that we're getting new battleships, that he's reinforcing the fleet. And this is something that he started in his first term and his first, yeah, I guess first term is the proper word, when he was 45. And now he's continuing it on. So let's hear a little clip from the president's press conference today. Maybe. Hold on. Here it
Merry
is.
Christmas and welcome to Mar-a-Lago for this exciting announcement of the new Golden Fleet. We're calling it the Golden Fleet that we're building for the United States Navy. As you know, we're desperately in need of ships. Our ships some of them have gotten old and tired and obsolete, and we're going to go the exact opposite direction. We're delighted to be joined by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, who's doing a fantastic job, and Secretary of the Navy John Phelan. Marco Rubio is here, who gave a great few words toward the end of last week. He spoke for a couple of hours on what a good job we're doing, which is true. As Commander-in-Chief, it's my great honor to announce that I have approved a plan for the Navy to begin the construction of two brand new, very large, the largest we've ever built, battleships. You know, you used to build the Iowa, the Missouri, the Wisconsin, the Alabama, many others. We had big battleships. These are bigger, but they will have 100 times they'll be 100 times the force, the power, and there's never been anything like these ships. These have been under design consideration for a long time, and it started with me in my first term, because I said, why aren't we doing battleships like we used to? And these are the best in the world. They'll be the fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built.
So there you have it. We're getting new battleships for Christmas. Well, maybe not for this Christmas, but anyway, that was the announcement today. What do you think about it? Hi, Kevin. You've been having 40 degrees Celsius days, so he'll be staying home over Christmas. Is it 40 degrees Celsius like super hot? Right? Because Fahrenheit would be cold. So Kevin, where are you from? Are you from Arizona or Australia? I've never asked before. I didn't think to ask. That's pretty warm, 40 degrees Celsius. So, but staying home over Christmas can be nice sometimes, even in the warmth. It's good to kind of chill out a little bit. And Sydney, okay, there we go. All right, so it's your summer there now, if I'm not mistaken. I'm really geographically challenged, so help me with that. But yeah, I mean, it's summer in Australia, right? And winter here, and then you switch. I guess that makes sense because it's right on the other side of the world. But as I say, I'm geographically challenged. But thank you for joining us as often as you do from Sydney. What time is it there? I'm interested. That would be 104 for us. Thank you, husband. 1 year. I am so geographically challenged that 1 year, my husband bought me for Christmas a puzzle of the United States so that I could see where everything was. But soon he figured out that wasn't big enough and he had to buy me a globe because I have no clue where anything is. I don't know why because I travel. I travel, so I should know this stuff, but I don't. I don't know why. But I have a fairly good sense of direction. So, at any rate, let's talk back to the battleships. I, for one, am super excited about this. I think that for too long we've rested on our laurels. I mean, we still have an elite military, and we our training is fantastic, but uh, I think that every single battle throughout history has been won on the oceans, basically. The one who had the greatest navy or maritime was always considered the strongest leader. And for us not to have state of the art battleships ready, I think that that's a big mistake. I think we should have state of the art everything. We send all kinds of ammunition and arms and this and that and bombs and flyers and planes to every other country, but we have to replenish our arsenal, and we have to have the best here. And so I, for one, am really excited about having these ships built. Hello, Susan. Good to have you. Hello, Kevin Young. Good to have you. So what do you think about it? Do you agree that we need a strong water presence, um, a strong marine presence to keep peace and to keep our borders safe? Hello, BJ, good to have you. Great job, Leticia. Merry Christmas. Well, thank you, BJ. I appreciate it. And it's so good to have you. We've not spoken in so many years, so it's so good to reconnect. And the importance of these ships is also what's going on in Venezuela right now, right? With these tankers and these drug boats that we are seizing. There's a lot of controversy over whether we should or shouldn't be doing that, seizing the Venezuelan oil and blowing up these drug boats. Because I think that for too long, everybody was used to America just rolling over and playing dead, right? It's kind of like, the big guy in the bar. Little guys will always come up and try and pick a fight with the big guy in the bar. So the big guy in the bar needs to always show discretion, right? Because when a guy is twice as big or even more than you, and you're up there, all in that guy's face, and if that guy punches you, good chance that they're going to kill you, right? And so the big guy has to have patience and discretion. The thing is, you can have patience and discretion, but that doesn't mean that you get to be tortured and that you get to ignore the situation, right? There's a time when the big guy has to stick up for himself and actually protect himself and not be taken advantage of. And for too long, America has been taken advantage of. We don't act like we're the big guy in the room at the bar. We act like we're some wimpy guy that needs to apologize for being big. And that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Same here. I am watching the show from JFK and getting ready to fly out to Dublin, Ireland. Oh, good for you. I love Ireland. I'm not as crazy about Dublin as I am about the West. I love the West. It's, Killarney, that area, that's my favorite. And that's where I spent a lot of time in the past. I haven't been there in some years, but I love Killarney. Dublin is like New York with a really great accent to me. But good for you. I'm glad you're on your way out. And thank you for joining us from JFK. Tell everybody to put it on their phones. So anyway, I'm so tired of America apologizing for being the big guy in the room. There's no reason we should apologize. This is a world where might and strength matters. Now, if you are going to start wielding that might in a negative way to have world dominance and to bring everybody to heel, that's a problem for me, right? That's authoritarianism, and that's a little bit too much. England did that, right? When it was Britain and Britannia, and for eons, right? Rome did that. The Celts did that. Speaking of Ireland, so the Vikings did that, right? They traveled the world and they tried to amass as much land mass as they could, or as much riches as they could, and control as much of the world as they could. That's not done so much anymore. And that's not what America is doing. America is not trying to quote unquote colonize the world. What we are expected to do is to police the world. Well, if we're expected to police the world, then there are certain things that we should be able to do, including if we put a sanction on somebody or something and they go against those sanctions, we should be able to police them. Because if you want us to police the world, let's police the world, right or wrong. Tell me, am I wrong? Why are the Democrats not saying anything about Bill Clinton and the photo of him at Epstein Island with underage girls? I'll give you a reason why. Because who's shocked by it, BJ? Who's shocked? I mean, come on. He was getting blowies in the Oval Office by a 21-year-old. So nobody's shocked that he was there. And apparently he must be not important anymore. So why would the Democrats talk about that? There's questions about all the people that were, and we spoke a little bit at length. Well, we spoke at length about it yesterday, about why this whole Epstein thing. If you took a picture with Epstein, were you are you automatically a pedophile? And that's just ridiculous, because Epstein put himself in a place. Thank you, Kevin. I usually am. But thank you for acknowledging it. We're talking about, if we're going to police the world, let's police the world. So I don't believe that just because you're in a photograph with somebody that you're a pedophile. But I do think that if you have demonstrated yourself as being a somebody who goes after young women, then that's a problem. And we saw that in Biden, right, with his daughter. We saw that in Bill Clinton with the intern. We've seen that with, lots of people. And the royal family, I'm not even going to go there, because they're just debaucherous. Royalty is debaucherous. That's how it is. It's always been that way. But so is Hollywood. So, I mean, at this point, I want the young women that were wronged or raped or taken against their will to have their day in court. I want them to be able to sue and, whatever they can gain back of their self-respect and dignity. I hope that they do. But enough with the Epstein files, because we've got bigger things going on. We've got, sanctions on Venezuela, where the whole world knows that he is a bad actor, Maduro, and that he's stolen not one election, but 3. And the whole world is against him, and they all say the same thing. Oh, sanction. But nobody wants to actually do anything about it. So he's out there shipping away his dirty oil to China and to wherever else he's shipping it. And we're all supposed to turn our backs. No. That may be the way the game was played in the past, but not under Trump. And it shouldn't be. Because if we're expected to be the world police, then let's do it. And he's doing it. This whole bullshit between Russia and Ukraine and all this stuff. Oh, you have to stop Russia because he wants world dominance. Yeah, he does. Well, one of the ways to stop Russia is to just destroy his allies. And that's what Trump is doing. Venezuela, I mean, Maduro is so far up Putin's ass, he might as well be a butt plug. I mean, these two guys are twisted all together. And where are they getting the money to finance the war, the never-ending war against Ukraine? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Russia's got a hand in the drug sales that going through Venezuela. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Because right now, Russia should be depleted. Their economy is in the tank. But yet they have this endless ability to wage war against Ukraine. It's kind of like when Trump came, when the whole war broke out and Europe was still buying oil from Russia, and Trump was a candidate on the campaign trail at the time, and said, "What are you, crazy? Wait a minute. You're all crying, oh, United States, oh, give us tomahawks, oh, give us missiles, oh, do something, oh, give us money." And we did, to the tunes of hundreds of billions of dollars. But we're going to still buy oil from Russia. So you're going to give them the money to blow up Ukraine. And the next one over is Poland. And so make it make sense. It never makes sense. That's the whole thing. It never makes sense. So Trump is trying to make it make sense. And the best way to do it is you cut off Venezuela from selling oil. They're a bad actor, and they should be treated as a bad actor. They should be punished for being a bad actor. They're killing our people. They're killing the people, the kids in Europe too. I mean, that's where these drugs are going. So we do that. And then we put a knife between China and Russia. And we destroy Iran, who also is in bed with Russia. You see where he's going? You see where he's going? And you consolidate the Middle East all together to be friendly to America. And now where does Putin have left to go? It's like the game of Risk or chess. You've got to figure out how you're moving your men around the board and accumulate power and wealth. And that's what Trump is doing. Just because Trump was in the pictures with Epstein does not mean anything. People post for pictures all the time, not knowing if the person has deep, dark secrets. Absolutely. How many, listen, I'm a politician. Not a super famous one, but even though I'm not a super famous one, I have had pictures taken with a couple of thousand people in my time. I don't know who they all were. I was happy to take the picture. They were at my event doing things together. I took the picture. Do I know who they were? Did I do a deep dive into their background? No. And for all these people that are putting up videos or pictures of Trump with young models, first of all, he was single 3 times, right? While he was rich. He was very publicly single 3 times, being a rich bachelor. And he owned the Miss America, Miss Universe, one of those pageants. And he owned Mar-a-Lago, where everybody wants to put their parties on. What is that? Tropical tanning lotion, whatever. I don't remember. But anyway, I don't care about Epstein anymore. I don't give a shit about it. It's a distraction. And we shouldn't be distracted by it. Screw it. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Who cares? Who cares? You want to see a pedophile? You can look, and I don't even know if it's considered a pedophile. Bill Clinton liked young ladies. I don't know how young they were. We know the youngest was 21, Monica Lewinsky. After that, we don't know. We know Joe Biden had an issue. His daughter had an issue. Either she was fibbing when she wrote that in her diary, or it's true that Biden had problems with young women. That we have more proof of that than anything else. But there's nothing that can be done about it, and it doesn't matter, right? There are no trail of young women being brought to the White House for Trump's pleasure. Period. End of story. Same thing with Mar-a-Lago. It's just not his MO. Why would anybody put their whole life on the line, messing around with young kids when you have all the power and all the ability to, and you have Melania, who is gorgeous. I'm sorry. This is all too funny, too stupid, too idiotic. And it's the kind of shit that people get caught up in because it's salacious. No, we got to talk about what's going on in Venezuela, in Russia, in Iran, throughout the world, because President Trump is making America into the leader again. We are now the big guy in the bar, and we have put out the warning. We are happy to drink with you, but don't come in here trying to fuck around with us. And he did that too with pharmaceuticals, because who was getting the big, huge break on pharmaceuticals, being treated like a third world country, paying nothing for the pharmaceuticals? What is it called now? UK. The UK was getting the super uber big break on pharmaceuticals. And we were paying for it. We were paying 300 times what other people were. We were paying for the research and development and everything else. Trump 2028. Drew, I don't see it. And honestly, I don't think, there's a certain point where even a good thing goes bad. And I think that if Trump was reelected, it wouldn't be a good thing for him or for us. There's plenty of other people that he is a role model for, right? And he is playing mentor to. Marco Rubio, J.D. Vance, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. There's so many other people out there who can pick up this baton and keep running with. So rather than getting us ourselves mired in that, let him go graciously, but still stick around and help these guys. And they all have a good head on their shoulders. Good. Yeah. I get it, especially when you do it to like libs. Oh my God, they lose their minds. It's fantastic. I like to do it to the libs too. So I'm with you on that. Okay. So let's just, I want you to see what these idiots are doing, including idiot Rand Paul with this Venezuela stuff. Listen closely.
Admiral Frank Bradley, the man commanding the Venezuelan response, briefed lawmakers today about the latest escalations in the southern hemisphere. That includes President Trump's order this morning to block all sanctioned oil tankers and the controversial decision to order a second strike on a boat while suspected narco-terrorists clung to the wreckage. Now briefed, some are weighing in about what they saw and whether or not they believe these strikes are justified.
So Admiral Bradley's done a great job. I'm totally confident in the legal basis for what he's done. And we got to keep going, because until these guys are done shipping drugs, there's still a threat.
I see no justification for the second strike for what, for me, were very obviously stranded survivors of a first strike that were not capable of threatening our service members.
To me, amazing that anybody in the public accepts this. The idea that we would make an accusation, we will simply accuse someone, and then they are found guilty without any kind of process. We asked the Coast Guard for specific statistics off the coast of Venezuela, and they said of boats that have been intercepted off of the coast before we came up with this blow them to smithereens policy, we used to interdict them. And of the boats that we interdicted off the coast of Venezuela, about 1 in 4, 21% to be exact, were not carrying drugs. That would mean if you're going to blow up all of the boats off the coast that look like drug boats or that you're suspicious for, 21% of the time you'd be killing innocent people. So I think it's outrageous that anybody would countenance this kind of activity. And I'm surprised that I seem to be one of the few people who seem to be alarmed at this.
He seems to be one of the few people that are alarmed at this, because it's crazy. 75%, more than 75%, almost 80% of the boats coming out of there are carrying drugs. 80%. Okay, 80%. So because 20% may not be carrying drugs, we should not go after 100%. What? How does this make sense? And there was a guy today, and I can't find the clip, and that was because I was busy with my grandson. But maybe you all can find it. He was a congressman, and he said, "Oh, by the way, that's not fentanyl they're carrying. It's not even fentanyl. They're only carrying cocaine." What? Do they listen to themselves? Do they even listen to themselves? I can't. Many have been with underage people long before Clinton and Trump. Too much of a problem will always create a problem. Yeah, who was the one that was in Congress? I forgot. And then they kind of ran him out because he dated a girl who said she was 21, but it turns out she was 17, and he didn't know. I can't remember his name. The congressman. Oh, they had Matt. What's his face? They had all to do with him, right? But Bill Clinton, Biden, we don't have a problem. And what about the one that slept with the spy? That's the Russian, the Chinese spy. That's ridiculous that he was even allowed to stay in Congress, that people kept on voting for him. I can't even. Trump can become their advisor to the next president. Absolutely. He's a mentor to them. Look, you've got Obama, shooting off his mouth. He was the puppeteer to President Otto Penn. All right. So the Biden administration, Trump can be right there in the background. Haven't they been warned not to come? They have. Listen, not only have they been warned not to come, but they send out the Coast Guard first on a patrol. If the Coast Guard says that, yeah, this is a drug boat, then bombs away. If the Coast Guard isn't certain, then the Coast Guard goes closer. It has a tete-a-tete with them until it's established that it is a drug running boat. But who in the right mind says the shit that's being said in Congress? When Congress people are supporting Venezuelan drug cartel or Mexican drug cartel or any other country's cartel members over America and its military, that's fucking treason. And you say it out loud. If there's narco-terrorist threat, it must be dealt with. Absolutely, Andrew. And he's the only one who has the balls to do it. A mentor, to pave the way, right? Trump could be a mentor to pave the way. So, we don't need Trump per se in 2028. We just need Republicans in 2028. What we need to do is we need to move this agenda forward. We need more than anything, the most important thing, and we talked about it yesterday, 55 seats are going to be vacated. 55 next year. We have in April, we have a seat in New Jersey coming up, and in what was the other one? I think it was March in Texas. We got to work for those seats, and hopefully the economy will be big enough that we can flip them from blue to red. But the 55 that are out there coming up, we've got to win those seats. We have to put back a majority in the Senate and the House so he can finish his agenda. Coast Guard and Navy can use the ramming method to take out those boats so them Democrats can stop bitching. Yes. Well, you know what the problem is, Kevin? There's not been a real, other than Afghanistan, and we saw how disastrous that was, and I won't blame it on the troops on the ground. I'm going to blame that on, the leaders, like that stupid, what was his name? Oh God, I hated him. I forget his name. That colonel, that general, whoever that oversaw that. I mean, we are not familiar with the ways of war. We have become so pussified. Thank you, silly Millie, my husband. Thank you. How did I forget that? We've become so pussified as a nation that a big guy with a gun is scary to us because all we're allowed to do is be robbed and threatened by big guys in the guns, in the gangs, and in the drug cartels in the street. But we can't ever imagine ourselves having guns and being the big guy and being able to protect ourselves, because every time that there's a shooting or anything, take all the guns. And the young people don't have any idea that they can protect themselves. Well, I'm not going to say all the young people, but some of them. So we need to remember who we are, and Trump is showing us who we are. It was Senator Chris Murphy, thank you, that said, it's not fentanyl. There's not bringing in fentanyl. They're only bringing in cocaine. Don't even get me started. I get thrown off. Thank you, Terrence. Thank you. I am. I've about had it with us, bowing down and apologizing for being the biggest country. and for being the greatest country. You know, we stand for something. We stand for human rights and values. And the global elitists hate it. They hate it. And you know how you can tell Trump is stopping the winds, windmills or whatever they are off the coast that are killing the whales, and interfering with sea life. And he stopped them. He's making them all reapply for licenses to see what kind of damage, if any, that they're doing to the ocean floor, because these things are drilled into the ocean floor. And it's been shown that they interfere, where they drive the whales crazy, and whales are beaching themselves and killing themselves. And the sea life is really, we're having a problem. So environmentally, Trump is, trying to take a look at that and not just giving out these licenses for no good reason. And the freaking woke people are saying that he's anti-environment. See, that's how crazy they are. That's how crazy they are. And we've heard it a million times here, right? He could have a cure for cancer, and they'd say, well, cancer was good. He downgraded cannabis, right, for medical use. And that's not good enough for the Democrat. I'm not going to say Democrats, the woke. So you know what? If nothing you do is good enough, then just do what the fuck you want. Don't even apologize anymore. Just do it. Just do it, because it doesn't matter. He doesn't need to be reelected. Just do it. Do it, get it done. Because, nobody likes to follow rules and nobody likes having to do hard work and all that stuff. But once you train people to do that, they do it, and they become fruitful, and they become successful. And that's what Trump is doing. He has taken this unruly teenager of a country that we have become, and he is growing us, hopefully, into a mature adult that has a work ethic and a moral compass, and can actually procreate to survive into the next millennium. So that's my thoughts on it. Thank you for joining me. We went a little over. Tomorrow, I think we'll probably be a little later because it's day before Christmas Eve, and I have a ton of fish to bread, fish salads. I'm Italian, so Feast of the Seven Fishes, and we host it here every night, every year. So probably be a little later, and we'll chat for a little while. And thank you. Please subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and ring the bell, and you'll get notified when we go live. And thanks for your comments. And thanks for helping to make this show, into a good conversation. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Hello, Gloria, and Merry Christmas to you. All right, I will see you tomorrow, and then we'll figure out the weekend together. Maybe we'll all be bored and we want to get on. Okay, thanks a lot, everybody. See you tomorrow.